Testing. All right. Hi, everybody. So my name's Peyton, and I am going to be doing some comedy tonight. Obviously, comedy is subjective, so it's a given that not 100% of everybody in the room will like my jokes. But that's okay. I encourage feedback after I'm done. I want to hear, all of your comments, your complaints, your most vitriolic thing you've ever said. I am completely fine hearing that. Just you can email it to me, your most vitriolic hate, whatever you want. My email address, you can email me all this later and tell me how terrible I did. You can email me at djtrump@whitehouse.gov. Send all of your awful things there, and I'll get back to you real quick. So, when you type things, you can put them into italics. And I think italics are really weird. Anything written in italics looks like it's trying to hit on you. Now, this is hard to kind of describe with just words, so I have a little visual aid here. Hello. Someone who says it like this, and as it is typed here, maybe they're a nice person, acquaintance saying hello, maybe a stranger just, adding some light to your day. They're nice, maybe they're flirting a little bit, but they're very respectful, very calm. Then you have, hello. Said by a large man with a lot of body hair, reeking of cologne, way too close to the girl he's talking to, whose name is Antonio, and quote, according to him, is always down for a crazy time. Italics are weird. Speaking of words as well, I love Mexican food and Mexican restaurants. I love tacos. No, we all do. But I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes Mexican restaurants have really lazy names. Like, for instance, one time I saw a Mexican restaurant that was just called El Sombrero, which I know no Spanish whatsoever, but I know enough to know that means the hat. The restaurant was named The Hat. Or also another favorite, I've seen these all across the country, Mexican places named Fiesta Grill. That just means party grill. I don't know, I think it's valid because the Hispanic owners or whatever, they probably think, dumb Americans, they don't care, they just want to come in and eat the food. They're right, I don't care at the end of the day, but I just think it's funny that these names are kind of so simplistic just because they assume correctly that most of us don't know Spanish. But that being said, I invite all of you next time you are in Mexico to visit my 2 new franchise restaurants, The Pants and Celebration Oven. Speaking of oddly named things, the Zamboni. If you don't know what that is, it's this big car type thing they drive across ice rinks and hockey rinks to clean the ice when it's not in use. Now, it's named after the guy who invented it, whose last name was Zamboni, but personally to me that name sounds like a stupid person trying to convince you that they know the name of a country in Africa. I envision the conversation, all right, Kevin, if you are so smart, name one country in Africa. Zamboni. Yeah, okay, Kevin, sure. That's a machine that, I guess it cleans the ice, but I don't necessarily understand what it does. Another machine that I don't see the practicality of, the street sweeper. Let me ask you, when is the last time you've ever been on or near a street and thought to yourself, boy, this street sure is dirty, it could use a good sweeping? Because I know personally, I have not once ever been on a street and thought it was too dirty and needed to be cleaned up. The thing is, cars drive on streets, and most of the time cars either flatten things or push them out of the way. So there's not that much stuff on streets beside cars. Another interesting invention, the 10-gallon top hat. The kind that went up to here, obviously not in fashion anymore, but at one time they were, Abraham Lincoln, all of the rich people back in the late 1800s, whatnot. Now, my theory on 10-gallon top hats is that they were invented to confuse snipers. Now, I envision it, that you have Lincoln, Rockefeller, Carnegie, any of these famous people, rich people at the time, they had people out to get them. Lincoln obviously did. And so they're like, oh boy, let's put this hat on our head. it goes up to here, you got your sniper in his booth, he's looking at you, he's like, well, I was going to shoot him right there, but the hat goes all the way up to there, so his head must just be really tall, so when he shoots him there. Obviously, that didn't end too well for Lincoln, because you can't wear a hat inside the theater. A little oversight there, but, you know, good effort, he tried. I'm just going to do one more joke real quick here. Idioms are really weird, and specifically, okay, so there's a lot of idioms about making a mistake. You drop the ball, you know, oh, I had a ball, I dropped it, you know, it's a little mistake. Or I bet on the wrong horse, meaning, you know, oh, I thought that horse was going to win, I put a little bit of money on it, that one won, I lost some money. As long as you don't have a gambling problem, that one just means, you know, you made a small mistake. And then there's, I screwed the pooch. Now, that's not a small mistake. In most states, that's a felony. I envision the conversation going, oh, hi, John, how's it going? Oh, good, Ralph. You know, though, I messed up the other day. I made a little mistake. I screwed my dog. What? You know, I was just sitting there, and I was like, why not? I regret it. What are you doing? I'm calling the police. And yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you.